And our word for today on this Thursday of the third week of Lent, this Thursday, March the 27th, our word for today is overcomes. And here to talk about it, Andrew Reinhart. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Good morning, Ron and Dave. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Our word for the day is overcomes. This is from the gospel. Jesus is casting out this mute demon, and then he's accused of casting out a demon by the power of demons. And in response, he tells this story, this parable, about the man who's sort of defending his home, but that the strong man is overcome by the stronger one. The gospel says, but when one's stronger than he attacks and overcomes him, he takes away the armor of which he relied and distributes the spoils. Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. You know, one of our difficult readings here, but also a powerful reading, this idea of overcoming. You know, there's one of the lies, one of the deceits the enemy uses in our world is the lie that we can fix ourselves. Basically, that things are sort of neutral, and that if we just try a little bit harder or get a little bit better or get a little smarter, maybe a little more technology, right, that we can solve all of the problems of the world on our own. But we Christians know that this isn't the case, that there's something deeper wrong with reality other than not having enough money or enough things or enough technology or what have you. Right? The problems with the world go down into the level of the human heart. And as a result of sin, as a result of concupiscence, as a result of fallen human nature, the enemy, the devil, has a certain lordship in the world, has a certain power in the world. And that power, we're, as humans, powerless to overcome it. We're powerless to overcome it. And that's the message of the gospel, that Jesus is the stronger man. Jesus is the one that overcomes the strong man for us. So looking at our first reading from the book of Jeremiah, there's this beautiful idea here. He says, they walked in the hardness of their evil hearts and turned their backs, not their faces to me. From the day that your fathers left the land of Egypt, even to this day, I have sent you untimely all my servants the prophets, yet they have not obeyed me nor paid heed. So what he's saying here is this hardness of the evil heart, right? This is the result of sin. This is that concupiscence that's as a result of the fall. But then there's these forms of life that correspond with the world. And that's what the people were introduced to in Egypt. They were called out of Babylon, out of a way of life, a worldly way of life. And then as a result of them, striving for survival, they go to Egypt. And now in the time of Jeremiah, they're turning toward the kingdoms of the world once again for their protection, their safety. Specifically now the kingdoms of Assyria and Babylon to the east, sort of returning back to the place where they had left in the first place. And the prophet's challenging them, don't turn your back on the Lord. You have to turn your face to the Lord. This is from Psalm 21. The psalmist says, you make him the pattern of blessing forever. You gladden him with the joy of your face. For the king that trusts in the Lord stands firm through the mercy of the Most High. So there's this connection that the psalmist is talking about here between the king standing firm and the king experiencing the Lord's mercy. How? By experiencing the joy of the Lord's face. Right? So this turning your face toward the Lord, experiencing the Lord more or less perceiving you, seeing you, delighting in you, having mercy on you, having joy for you, is what gives us strength. And we as Christians describe heaven as face-to-face contact with God. And we Catholics are invited into adoration, ad ora, mouth to mouth, face to face. Ad is to or toward, ora is mouth or face. So we're invited into this face-to-face turning toward the Lord with our problems, with our fears, with our weakness, with our world, turning to him, realizing that he is the one that can overcome. And we need to overcome that lie of the enemy, that if we just tried a little harder or got a little smarter, a little richer, a little more technology, we could solve the world's problems. So our word for the day is overcomes.
I love it, Andrew. And just this reminder, we're not doing it in our own strength. That was tried for a very, very long time. And Jesus came and to make it clear that we can't do it by ourselves. It's his grace that helps us to overcome. And we have to trust him in that.
We have to trust in him. And we have such great tools as in a church today to turn toward the Lord with our faith. And we're in the season of the Eucharistic revival, and so many of our churches are offering more Eucharistic adoration. Even here in our pastoral center on Thursday morning, we have Eucharistic adoration. So we have this opportunity to literally turn our faces toward the Lord. And by making that act, we are making an act with our whole life, that we're relying on him, that he's the one that can overcome on our behalf.
Beautiful.
So today, get to a chapel if you can.
Amen.
Love it, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Andrew Reinhart, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we look forward to our Thursdays. We look forward to Fridays, too. And, of course, this afternoon, we're looking forward to the 4 o'clock hour, Say Yes to Life with Peter Range, followed by the Bishop's Corner at 4:30. So stick around.